Hello, folks. Welcome back to the channel. It's Reese here, back with a preview of Burnley against Chelsea at the turf on Saturday afternoon. And we've all got to hope that the game pans out a little differently than what Tuesday night at home to Leicester did, where, let's be honest, despite Burnley having a lot of the ball, we were never in the game and never really did much to threaten Leicester. And in truth, on another night, if Leicester would have taken the chances and Nick Pope wasn't in resplendent form, we could have easily stared down the barrel of a 3 or 4 0 defeat now. You know, we've made massive progress in the last few games. And if you would have told us a few weeks ago that would be so near to safety and keeping Everton, Leeds and Brentford within a breadth of us with still with games in hand on all those teams, everyone would have been delighted and took that position from where we've come from. But it's just unfortunate because on paper the Leicester game seemed eminently winnable when we've been riding the crest of a wave, unless they seem to be on something of, at minimum, an inconsistent run, and at worst, perhaps you could argue a downward spiral. And on Saturday, certainly we'll have to apply ourselves better than we managed to, but you'd hope that a few more days rest and the demands of Chelsea's schedule, only having played Luton last night and been given a very stern test by Luton, where they really had to work for the whole 90 minutes to progress in the FA Cup, and the toll of a grueling 120 minutes plus a penalty shootout last week on the big pitch at Wembley. Hope it'll have been physically and mentally draining for the Chelsea players. So, although Chelsea obviously have much of a bigger squad that they can resort to playing against us than what we have, you'd hope that freshness-wise, both teams are in the same boat, and Burnley can go back to the traps a lot faster and lay a marker down early in this game. Because unfortunately on Tuesday it simply didn't get going from a Burnley perspective, and there was no fluency there at any stage from Burnley. And not only were we not fluent against Leicester, we also began to look even more disjointed and, at times sort of struggle being sloppy in our passing because of the press, the high press from Leicester killed us somewhat, and there was also some breakdowns in communication now and again between Pope, Tarkovsky and Collins, and Tarkovsky not looking entirely comfortable playing together, which only to be expected, I suppose, when it's a budding new partnership. And only to introduce old Collins. He can't, although I think he's got a high potential and a high ceiling, you can't expect him to be absolutely flawless right from the get-go. So I have no complaints about that. But on Saturday, I mean, technically we are playing, technically and theoretically, Chelsea are the best team in the world, of course. Having recently won, the World Cup Challenge, that theoretically means that they are the best team in the world, although the strength of that competition isn't fantastic, and I'd argue that both Liverpool and City and potentially uh, PSG and Bayern Munich under there are better than Chelsea, but nevertheless they are the World Cup champions, and they've got world class players, quality players, players that can produce moments at any given time in the game to take away the game from us. So we're going to have to be on our mettle, and we're going to have to take the game to them, and it's going to rely on Burnley not being able to create many chances. Obviously, as we know, uh, we're not the most creative outfit, and Chelsea have a very, very miserly defence, only having conceded 18 goals in the Premier League this season, which makes them the second strongest defence behind Man City. So we can't expect to, create chances and miss them. It's going to be a limited number of chances, which we're going to have to utilise, and we're going to have to be solid at the back and hopefully benefit from Chelsea's attack being, how would I exactly say, blunt, but they're not as scary an attack as Liverpool and Man City. They've got good players, great technical players, but players like Havertz, Mount, Pulisic, Werner, and Lukaku are sort of star quality players who have all sorts of attributes in sort of the link up play, the sort of the way they construct it, the passing, the movement, the triangles that they can play in to sort of manufacture the positions that they need. But equally, every player, and I'd include Mason Mount in this, he's good at shooting and things like that. But they don't have quite the same sort of deadliness, and they don't invoke a fear in me in front of goal. So perhaps if Nick Pope has a good game, if Chelsea players in the final against Liverpool, especially Lukaku, was guilty of being caught offside time after time. So if that sort of thing can happen again, then, Burnley have a good day, and we're fresher in midfield than we were on Tuesday night. Then, it's all to play for. What I would say as a Burnley perspective is, whilst we're in sort of the midst of a relegation battle, and we need to get back to sort of solid ways where Chelsea have to fight and scrap for every ball, and we're not going to be able to make the sort of errors that for instance, Charlie Taylor made for the second goal against Leicester, where he, as much as I love Charlie, sort of inexcusably let Vardy take a run on him when he appeared to know where he was. That sort of error and negligence simply can't happen on Saturday against the class of player that Chelsea have. Otherwise, we'll be just under siege. But I think we all accept that Saturday's game, whilst they don't scare you the same way that Man City and Liverpool do, they are an elite football team. And yes, we did get a draw there in November. I went down and I was absolutely thrilled to bits where Vidra equalised. But let's have it right. It was something of a smash and grab when Vidra equalised, and we much deserved the point because we were dogged, we were solid, we stuck in the game, and we took a chance that came our way. And indeed, I remember that later on, a few minutes before the end of the game, Vidra missed what, if I remember, was an open goal, so arguably we could have won. But equally, I remember that Chelsea were not clinical on the day. They missed a lot of chances, and I remember that Burnley couldn't get out of our own half for the first sort of 25, 30 minutes of the game. It seemed to me that, if I remember right, when it Port made they have to save, and I think Chelsea might have even hit the post or the crossbar once, if not twice. So on a different day, that game could have panned out massively differently. And, Chelsea's record at Turf Moor is excellent, even though Burnley have had quite a bit of success at Chelsea over the time with 2 Premier League wins, and I think it's a couple of draws as well. But during the home games against Chelsea, it's been somewhat barren barren for Burnley anyway, with Burnley conceding 7 goals in Chelsea's last 2 visits, with a particularly one-sided game at 3-0 last season, which was played behind closed doors, and a 4-2 victory the year before that, where I don't remember it really being an equal game. The elephant in the room this time, however, is the uncertain situation of Chelsea's sale by Roman Abramovich, whether that will muddy the waters for Chelsea and leave a cloud over the club, or will the players be sort of professional enough to be clinical and just focus their minds on simply the 90 minutes, or will the uncertainty of the sale and sort of the constant media spotlights on the club at the moment mean that Chelsea's minds are not fully on the game? Chelsea feel like they can't obviously close the gap on Man City, which I think is currently at 16 points to win the league, and 10 points. I think it might be around 9 or 10 points below Liverpool. So it's almost as though third for Chelsea is the glass ceiling at the moment. They're probably comfortably in the top four. So whether the incentive to win the game is quite what it is for Burnley, I don't know. Chelsea have been on an indifferent run lately with several draws in the Premier League, and they haven't been playing fluently. They haven't been playing scoring many goals, but equally they've had a disjointed time when they've been playing lots of cup football in the Champions League, the FA Cup, the League Cup final, and then they had a 2-week break 2 weeks ago from the Premier League, which means that it's difficult to tell what sort of momentum they're going to be bringing into this game. My heart says that realistically we're probably likely to suffer a 1-0 defeat, just purely on the basis that I don't think we're going to see a great deal of the ball, and you would expect that eventually the quality of Chelsea might wear us down. However, my Burnley current tinted goggles tell me that we've set the precedent against Liverpool, Manchester United, and Tottenham lately, where Manchester United on paper are as scary as Chelsea. Liverpool are elite compared to Chelsea, and we still match them stride for stride right into the last 15 minutes of the game. And Spurs, we all know what Spurs can be like, but equally we all know what Spurs can do to a team on the day. So my claret tinted spectacles say that we're going to gain a 1-1 draw in the game, and that that would alleviate the pressure going into the Brentford game next week. That is going to be an absolute monumental 6-pointer, and in fact, not wishing any negativity on Burnley or not saying that this game isn't crucial, but this game is something of a free hit where uh, I don't like to put any pressure on the players unnecessarily, but it's almost one of those where you will gladly take a defeat, and in fact, maybe even a heavy defeat, a 3 or 4 nil defeat, if you could guarantee that Burnley go to Brentford and take the 3 points off a direct relegation rival next week. But we all know that in football, it's not as simple. You can't pick and choose the games that you're going to take the points from, and it doesn't work like that because anything could happen to change the course of a game. A dodgy referee decision, VAR could intervene. You could get a man sent off after 10 minutes, and then all your best laid plans for a certain game will be out the window. And in fact, would it not just be like Burnley to beat Chelsea and then go to Brentford and lose next week and sort of do things in the reverse order compared to what you'd expect, or at least not do it in the easiest way possible. So I'm going to say that realistically, we'll lose the game 1-0, but if things go our way, we can eke out a 1-0. Sorry, a 1-1 draw. Onto the team moves for the game. It seems like Burnley's touch and go, in Sean Dyche's words, which generally when he says that someone's touch and go, that means that they're not going to be a risk this week, and we'll probably be prioritising Burnley's fitness, looking forward to that Brentford game, because the risk and reward is that if you play him and he gets injured for Brentford again, that he's probably going to be able to have more of an instrumental say, and then we'd be much weaker going to Brentford without our captain. So I expect Collins to have another game, being able to partner Tarkovsky in this. And yeah, and I personally, if I was Dash, not that this is a popular opinion, and goodness knows where we'd be without him. He's been fantastic, scoring his 8 goals, and he's got that spring club stardust that we all crave to see in a Burnley shirt. But I personally am in favour of seeing Maxwell Cornet drop for this game, because we have to do what's best for the team, and excuse me, but we have to do what's best for the team, and if everybody looks at it with their hand on their heart, Cornet hasn't been effective in the last month or so since he's come back from the AFCON. I do think he's an immense talent. He's our most creative player, and you never know what's going to happen when he gets on the ball. But with that being said, I think we are guilty of just seeing that he scored 8 brilliant goals and deciding that he's a centre forward simply because we have to have him on the pitch, and thinking that he has to be shoehorned into the team simply because we have to accommodate him somewhere, when it's unfair on the resurgent Aaron Lennon to displace him for the benefit of Cornet. So I personally want to see sort of a continuation of the partnership between Wout and Giroud that's been ever so fruitful for us in recent games and contributed lots of goals. And, anybody could see with their eyes that the performance against Leicester improved and that there was more link up and telepathy between Gerard and Vout once Gerard came on for corner the other night. So I do think it's a bit sort of blinkered and a bit sort of given into the star name and the £12 million price tag of corner if uh, uh, the price tag of Cornet and the fact that he's an international player and the fans all love him. We have to be careful that all that doesn't count against Gerard because Gerard has really, you know, really come to the fore for us and made us a better team in recent times. So it has to be what's best for the team, and we can't be given into just the name of a player, even though Cornet is invaluable for this game. I think he should sit on the bench and to actually offer just something more. And as much as Westwood has been my favourite player and very integral for us over recent seasons, it felt like to me that he was wholly ineffective and Brownhill was sort of having to take charge of the whole of midfield on his own. So I'd like to see Jack Court come in and, just see if the partnership that have formed over the last few weeks between Brownhill and Cork and the extra energy between Cork and Brownhill, because the more I look at it, the more I think that you've basically got a carbon copy of the same player between Westwood and Brownhill. So I think for this game, Cork and Brownhill, and hopefully, we can get at least a draw, or at least we can battle and not let Chelsea settle, and a bit of luck can go our way, and then we can go to Brentford in fine spirits with a winning mentality for the game that might be pivotal to deciding how the rest of the season's gonna pan out next week. So yeah, that's about it, folks. I'll see you again next time. I might speak to you after the Chelsea game, and I'll speak to you again in the coming days, because hopefully I've got exciting things in the pipeline for the channel where I'm going to be hoping to collaborate with other YouTube content creators from other teams. I'm hoping to be bringing you people a preview with a Brentford fan on the channel before the game next week. I've been speaking to some Man City fans about doing previews with them before that game, and talking to an Everton fan about doing the same. Or hopefully every week, I want to be speaking to a fan of Burnley's opponents and getting a opposition perspective from them, to find out from them what they think about their team, and me and a person can have a live discussion for you to watch about our expectations from the game and do a match prediction and that sort of thing. And just before I go, a massive thank you to Dan from Turfmore House. There's another Burnley YouTube channel. You should go and subscribe to him because he's fantastic, and he put a lot of effort and time into his videos, and he really shares a lot of the same opinions as me. So Burnley, Dan at Turfmore House on YouTube has created me a fantastic logo and a terrific intro for my channel, and with his help and the support from you people and all the subscriptions that I'm getting are going to help me to work towards making the channel more professional and hopefully more consistent in time. So thank you for watching Up the Clarets, and let's hope we get a bit of luck on Saturday and don't let Chelsea's star names phase us. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye.